Well, shalom, shalom. I'm Barbara, and I'm always short and sweet. What is the true symbol of Israel? Is it the Star of David, or is it the menorah? Well, the star itself is a six-pointed star, also known as a hexagram. And in Jewish commentary, it is also referred to as the shield of David and sometimes the seal of Solomon. And within the Jewish people, we see the star everywhere. The star is even at the center of the national flag of Israel. And it's on everything from menorahs to coffee cups. Well, the origins of the Star of David. Proving the origins of the Star of David is quite difficult, and some of the earliest usage is found in Jewish context is from the 3rd to 4th century in a synagogue in Galilee. However, the menorah is a biblical example of Jewish symbolism. The menorah. Well, it means many different things to Jewish people that can be drawn from the scripture itself and Jewish tradition. And at the end of Zechariah 4 and 7, the lamps on the menorah are like the 7 eyes of Yah, which range throughout the whole earth. And this refers to nothing being unseen by Jehovah. A crucial reminder that the exile of the Israel people would be everywhere all over the earth. So the menorah shows up on coins, in pottery, and lamps and seals, and the oldest inscription found so far is 1400 BC, and that is a very rare find. So how did all this happen with getting the Star of David? Well, in 1897, the first Zionist Congress chose the Star of David as their first Zionist symbol. And one of the reasons was the Jews everywhere was already used to it from the 19th century. It was put on synagogues and prayer books and tombstones. And the second reason was that it didn't have the religious significance of the other symbols. So by the mid-20th century, no symbol was more tied to Judaism than that Star of David. October 28, 1948, the Provisional Council voted unanimously to adopt the Zionist flag as that of the State of Israel. Well, here we see that same hexagon star in Hinduism and Buddhism. The hexagram is also a prominent symbol in the occult. In ceremonial magic, the six-pointed star is commonly used as a talisman and for conjuring up spirits. The history of the practice of magic, the six-pointed star is also called the talisman of Saturn, and it's also referred to as the seal of Solomon. So the bottom line can be summarized by the following facts. The linkage to the hexagram to David appears to be tradition only, because some say it's from the Hebrew letters in his name, the dalet, that was put on the shields for the army of David. And when the dalet crossed, it had 2 triangles. The other thing is the origins of the hexagram are unclear. We cannot definitely state that the origins are Jewish or the origins are from the pagan occult. History demonstrates that both groups entertained the symbol in their worship practices. The occult links a hexagram to the worship of Saturn. One thing we know is true. The most dominant true symbolic sign for Yah's people is the menorah. Yet we don't ever see the occult using the 7-candle menorah in their worship. Why is the occult and other pagan religions so connected to the hexagram star if it is truly a sign of the Jewish people? The hexagram is a sign of Hinduism, Buddhism, the cults, Masons, and the Jews. So according to Stephen, there was a particular star they were accused of using and worshiping. And was that star a hexagram? We find that all about it in Acts 7, where Stephen was stoned for accusing them of worshiping the star of Remphan. Did you bring me slain beasts and sacrifices during the 40 years in the wilderness? Way back in the wilderness, they were worshiping the star of Remphan. And you will see that that is recorded as the star of Saturn. And in Strong's H3559 is Cayenne, probably a statue of the Assyrian Babylonian god of the planet Saturn. Israelites created an image of a star to represent the planet Saturn and incorporated it into their worship. Was this star a hexagram? The six-pointed star is commonly used both as a talisman and for conjuring spirits and spiritual forces in many forms of occult magic. The six-pointed star is called the talisman of Saturn. And here's what it looks like. I don't even like to look at these kind of symbols. So it's simply not known the exact details of the star. And what if the actual planet of Saturn reveals what that star looks like? So we're going to highlight a certain feature of the star, and then you're going to see it on the planet Saturn. In some of the first detailed photos of the planet Saturn in the early 1980s, it was immediately noticed that the pole of Saturn exemplifies a persistent hexagon cloud formation. There it is. Here it is shown, different years, and it's still there in 2025. The hexagram is permanent six-sided jet stream at Saturn's North Pole. And it has been seen to change colors with the different cloud formations. So the star is a symbol in the ancient worlds. Buddhism, Molech, Rephan, Hinduism, and the occult specifically states that the hexagram is for the worship of the planet Saturn. So how did the ancients know that Saturn had the six-pointed sign without sending out a man-made satellite? Well, the answer is the occult is real. The power of the occult is real, and it's from Satan, and the symbol is real. So here are the facts we've uncovered. The hexagram is historically present in worship for Israel and the occult, and the Bible warns about a specific star to Israel, and the actual planet of Saturn contains this six-pointed image. So the Star of David and the worship of Saturn are connected. So what is the true symbol of Israel? Is it the Star of David, or is it the Menorah? So Hosea 4:6 says, "My people are destroyed for lack of knowledge." And Revelation 18:4 says, "Come out of her, my people." So remember, I'm short and sweet, and I'll see you next time, Yah willing.